Hello, Manu. How are you doing? Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Marinela. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Still working from home and trying to handle the whole situation. I'm very happy to see you. I'm very happy that you're with me today and we can discuss about all this interesting stuff around mental health and COVID. How did you experience the COVID period? And I wanted to ask you, how did you manage to make the transition to remote working lately?
It went very well for me, actually. Although I had to stop my clinic, but I continued to work with my online clients. And I focused most of my energy in nurturing the community. I built resilience into myself because this was one of the key points which I saw, and into people that are around me. And we did some great work. We started doing meditations. We started to bring up to 200 people every day, connecting together and helping to back each other up, making sure that we are becoming more resilient as we move forward. So it had been a really interesting period for me.
This is great. I'm very happy to hear that. Okay, changes, are part of the plan always. So I wanted to ask you, I was curious. You're a mental health and life transformation expert. So I wanted to ask you, what does social distancing in a society level mean to you?
Well, the fact that social distancing means immediate lack of human contact. And it depends what context you are in, if you're living alone or you're living in a family. But immediately you raise new barriers that are put in place that are something we have never, ever experienced in our lifetime. Okay, people that are alive now have never experienced this ever. So it forces you to adapt to this reality because there was no choice. And this is having, of course, its side effects.
But, coronavirus did not just affect us as a healthcare issue, as a health issue. It did radically change our everyday routine and our life stability. In fact, I saw that the latest research shows that there is a dramatic increase in anxiety, depression, insomnia, domestic violence incidents, and not just locally in Switzerland, but in a global level. So how do you think all those coronavirus safety measures that was taken by the government are linked to the rise of this phenomena? How do you see that?
So this pandemic is a really a situation we have never seen in our consciousness lifetime. So it's new. And what it brings is fear. And there are many kinds of fears that come in. First is a health-related fear because there's a disease at the end of the story, okay? And that's what everybody's afraid of. The second one was job-related, so people that were in jobs, will I keep my job? Or worse, if I lost a job, what is my chance of getting a new job? There was also economic. Can I shelter and feed myself and my family? Now, all of them create a sense of incredible fear that for many people, they've never experienced in their lifetimes or have experienced some of it, not all. And then, of course, social distancing means separation. Now, if you put all this together into the same time frame, it creates a state of panic. People are into day-to-day fear. And then you combine this with all the social media and media, which is mostly negative, which is showing the worst case scenarios. So it puts humanity or people into condition of extreme stress. Now we know what stress does to people, okay? Stress or any kind of stress is a leading cause of all kind of issues. I mean, any research shows that when there is stress, it creates depression, anxiety, panic, and then it can then eventually lead to all kind of health side effects, but into day to day. So absolutely, there is a why there is an increase in domestic violence is because people, so the social distancing created a new scenario which has never been there. And in case the foundation was weak within the individuals, so comes, it's like fuel on fire. And that created the situation that we see now. And it's very, you hear it and you see it so often. Now, what governments are doing, they're doing their best because they are trying to address the side effects of the issue, the pandemic, which can be related to reduction of people that get infected, and of course the consequences thereafter, because thereafter we know that there are lots of consequences, health consequences, but also economic consequences. So governments, in that sense, are doing their best. Some are doing better than others, but everybody is trying to protect their population.
Yes.
So this is where we are.
Yeah, I totally agree with you actually that we're facing, a multi-dimensional range of side effects of coronavirus, and not just the ones that are related to healthcare. So this is a big fact that we are on the verge of another silent and undercover, let's say, pandemic, which is linked to mental health. Really? What do you think?
Yeah, if you look at all the above which you just said, it's like it's what is coming. And by the way, the side effect of pandemic is not yet fully seen. It's still unfolding. We know that there is more to come. Okay. I mean, think about it that, when you see a high-rise building, first you make a foundation, and then you make the building. Why do you make a foundation? So that in case of a storm or earthquake, etc., the building stands, right? And we are at a point where basically individuals, organizations, families, whatever we can call, which did not spend time to build foundations, are the ones that are more likely to crumble, okay, than the ones that have taken time already in building foundation. They are less likely to be shaken. And this is where we are. So unfortunately, already, even before COVID came in, there has been, mental health has already been started to be a serious issue impacting individuals and organizations. And now it's just that it's on steroids. It's like it's just gone blown out because of all the conditions that we are seeing. So this is where we are, and we are heading to absolutely a bigger silent pandemic around mental health.
Yeah, but it's never too late to start and build your foundations, as you said. Even when you're forced to do so, when you're stuck into a very difficult situation or a challenge that life drops you without you expecting it. So I know that you have been working the past decade, that you have dedicated your whole efforts in helping individuals and teams overcome mental challenges related to their health, to their work and relationships. I think you're also specialized in working closely with professionals from the corporate world who are coping with burnout and workplace mental issues. So what is your approach now that our work life is challenged more than ever, as we can see, due to all these side effects of the pandemic and remote working? People you see are feeling stressed, they're feeling uncertain, afraid, that all the things that we discussed before. How do you approach this population and the professionals that are coming to you?
Wow, okay. So burnout has been, in my view, a taboo subject, okay? I went through it in my own corporate life. And most organizations, the best they say, well, okay, it's an HR subject. You go see a medical professional, you're put on leave and find your own path. Most organizations, this is what they do when we talk. So I did a survey with about 10 top companies, which were in the past I've worked with, talking to HR. 100% of them told me that burnout is a real issue in their organization. 100% told me that it's a topic which is handled by HR, and there is no formal process, strategy, action plans that are visible at the level of board around the subject. So it's basically everybody knows, but nobody likes to really take it on head on. So there are few things they do. Somebody brings in a monk, somebody does meditations or yoga classes or whatever, so things like that. But that's not where burnout can be addressed. So companies at this point, looking at the fact that it's a pandemic coming, have really to wake up to this reality and put it as the same level of focus as they put for products, development, marketing, sales. It has to be a subject which must be an agenda for company board and top executives to be addressed. People make the difference in any organization. Yes, we are entering into the age of AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the story, I have yet to see organizations that can work without people. And when we talk people, it means people that are effective, that are engaged, that are working together as a team. And when you are in front of a mental health story, that's the first thing that goes away. Engagement goes down, effectiveness goes down. So how do you account for having a successful company best using its asset, which is resources, if this subject continues to be put not at the level of anything else which is strategic to the company?
I totally agree with what you said. Actually, burnout is a real issue in companies. I can say that also from my former experience. Mental health issues, not just burnout, and they lead to so much decrease of employee productivity, and they are really not addressed in a proper way and as they should be. There is so much work that needs to be done, but it's a very nice point where we could begin doing this. So I think it's time to start destigmatizing mental health stability of professionals and start prioritizing the individual and group support we can offer to the employees of the company in order for them to be able to navigate through COVID. And of course, in the future with future challenges, because we live in a rapidly changing and evolving world. So this is a priority for us. But, how do you visualize? I would like to ask you, it was a question I had in my mind. How do you visualize the ideal corporate framework for that? And what do you think should companies and employees do in order to achieve this so discussed and so-called mental resilience into tough situations like this one we are inside?
So the first step in everything is to recognize that there is an issue. And I would say that should start with the phase one, which is called awareness. And awareness is becoming aware of what means burnout or mental health issues. What is the stigma around it? Okay, and what is really happening in the organization as far as this is concerned. So the first, if you don't know, if you don't acknowledge a problem, you don't address it. So awareness is a major activity to be done by companies, so that at exec level, at board level, they become aware. Okay? And the second part which comes more or less follows that is to do some policy making, to make some strategic decisions around addressing mental health issues within the organization. So, because it can't today, all my clients, most of my clients, which are not coming through the corporate world, are corporate people working in all kind of companies, agencies, large companies, small companies. And the reason they come to me straight away is because there is nobody which is addressing it through the organization. Okay, so they come straight because they understand that if I get burned out, I have a 2 years period where I'm almost gone. So it needs, once it becomes an issue that the company organization takes on and starts to address, it has to go into policy, into strategy. And the third one is execution for me, which is basically what you put into your policy, into a strategy, then you execute, which is lots of trainings, awareness, life coaching, mentoring, okay, very specifically, because this is not a classical coaching, it's very specific, because you have to address what I call in the beginning foundation issues. Okay, and then lots of education at the mid-management and management layer, because they are going to play a role in this process. And again, one of the stigma around burnout is becoming because management or managers feel that they are victimized if somebody gets burned out in their team. And I can tell you with absolutely certainty, burnout is not an issue of the manager. It's absolutely never an issue of a manager or a manager or a leader can trigger conditions, but is not the root of the story. The root lies somewhere else always. And because of that stigma, it stays undercover. So that's back to the awareness, okay, story. So those are my three things. So awareness, policy making, and strategy to address this across the company. And third one is really execution with training, with coaching, with management layer, addressing management layer and process changes.
Okay. Yes, I can also confirm that there are many people out there that, you know, they need like mental support or coaching or counseling or just the direction, you know, from someone that can guide them through a specific challenge. But even though you see also in your professional environment that are people that do this and they need this, they never did it from the framework of their professional team through their company. So I believe that this is very important to be created and be established as also a guideline in training employees, because the world is so fast now and, you know, it's so challenging, and that we need to train our employees from a multidimensional aspect, not just into the technical parts of the job. This Absolutely. Is very important. So I know that you have been in the past in this framework. You have been working like 35 years, I think, in the corporate world. So you have a very well image of what's happening inside. And this is, I believe this is a very important reason that you are so good in what you do the past decade. I wanted to ask you, why do you believe that it's so important to create mentally strong and resilient individuals in the modern corporate teams? Where is the so big importance that lies into this small building and that we do in our mental health stability?
In my corporate career, I ran very complex programs and projects, global ones, sometime with the team size of up to 300 people. and we did things which are called Mission Impossible as a team. And the only attribute I always said that changed the course of outcome was the team, the people in the team, their commitment, their engagement, extra mile, doing things because they love to do it, not because they've been instructed to do it. And those are some of the key ingredients that makes team success. And companies are nothing but collection of teams. And so I cannot even imagine a situation where you can have excellent outcome without having strong team, which means individuals that are at the best of themselves. And it has so many side effects. Okay, happy individuals create happy families. They'll have better health. I mean, so it's like it's the most fundamental part of an organization is people, and people being in a state of joy and happiness and giving their best because they are engaged. It's like there is nothing to that. I have never seen in my career, in my lifetime, a successful project. Successful means done in time, done in cost, done in with the objective what you've done, which has been done without underlying team that just did extraordinary work. And so, I mean, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that people are key resources in any organization, and strong workforce, which means engaged, motivated, happy to do what they are doing, is an asset.
I agree. And having, creating strong teams and strong outcomes that come from the teams is a matter of high importance, and it's a complex process. Needs time and needs effort from entry-level professionals to top management executives. So I couldn't agree more with you. But, as an expert, what exactly do you think should modern professionals do in order to adapt in this new normal reality that many people admit that it's here to stay? Because you said about managers, let's say before, that they are not the problem, but they can definitely be a part of the solution. So I would like to hear your recommendation and your approach on that.
So when I get people from corporate coming in, one of the first thing I always do is to spend time in them understanding the underlying issue. What is fundamentals of accepting that what is the underlying issue and not the overlying issue. Okay, they come in, well, I hate my job, my company is la la la, or I have a abusive manager or whatever. So things that they come in, and when you go into details and you unblock or unscrew, or I don't know, probably the right word is. So when you when you get into the meat of the crux of where it is, it's got nothing to do with them, with what they come up with. So the first thing always is accepting and understanding their current state, and then it's far more easier to create a model of change for them, because you are looking at a problem which is not the real problem. The real problem lies somewhere else. And hence, the moment you change that and you create a model of change or transformation, then they go for it. And in no time, they become somebody else because they just start to change. I mean, I have so many clients that hated their bosses, hated their jobs, etc., came in, worked for a couple of months, are still in the same job, same organization, and they became better, happier, and more fulfilled. And I make that distinction because that's so important in the journey of addressing burnout as an issue in the organization, is to stop to put every blame on the managers. I'm not saying that there are some which are not good leaders. We have some which have issues to be, that we should never be actually made to be a leader of a team. Absolutely. But the issue of burnout has actually nothing to do with the individual. So back to your question, professionals that feel that they are getting disengaged, that they are feeling stress at everything in their workplace, or they want to run away from it, or they want to hide and take holidays. I mean, really run away. They have to understand the underlying issues, and from there create a model of change.
It's like you have a very nice example. All people that are focused in mental health, the example of the iceberg, that people see just the top of it, but there are so many things lying under the surface of the sea. So yes, I totally agree with you. What could I say more? I'm very, very delighted about this conversation that we're having, and I believe that you're very, very useful, this kind of information that you give and suggestions and guidance. It's very important for professionals because the problem is much bigger than it looks, but now it's revealing itself during this period of challenge. So I wanted to ask you, what are your plans for now? How, in this period that you're also working from home and you shifted your activities online and digital and you try to adapt, how are you managing to help the professional community during this crisis?
So, and this has been coming for some time, and now I'm preparing and would be coming soon. I want to actually address the 3 phases, but to bring awareness to the 3 phases that I mentioned, which means bringing awareness, mostly, and talking a little bit about policies, and of course, what could you do for an execution plan. So my idea is to come out and share what I understand is my understanding of my limited understanding of what I've experienced working with hundreds of people this period, of where it comes from, what can companies do to address it, and how to do.
This is great. This is great. I'm very happy that you are proactive and you did something regarding this to address this problem. I was pretty sure that you could do that because I know that you have doing this for many years now. I have so many people working with you that suggested to me to come and talk to you, and this is how we met each other. I'm very, very much looking forward to discussing more things and to join you also in the next phases of your plan. And I'm pretty sure that the corporate world and the individuals, of course, not just the corporate world, because the corporate world is just humans and we are all human. So how is going to benefit from this guidance and this support that you offer? I would like to thank you very much for accepting the invitation to discuss today. It was useful, very useful for me as a professional, as a person, as a friend. I believe that it's going to be really valuable for all people who will join you in this very interesting journey. Thank you so much, Manu.
Thank you, Marina. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I'm so happy to do what I'm doing and so happy to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.